So how many of you watching are doing your absolute best to raise good kids and do it as best as you can? Are you wondering, do you have to do it all on your own because the other parent is not there? What do we do about that?
Yeah, so we're going to get some options. And joining us now is our Lady of the Law, Andrea Kast, to show you how you can get the money that your child needs and deserves. And Andrea, I bet you see a lot of child support cases come through your office. So give us a story of somebody who has gone through this.
Sure. We see a lot of these cases, like you said, and these cases are really sad. People come to us really at their most desperate time. They don't realize that they had options before this, and they come to us thinking, I know there's something you can do. We're like, no, wait, there is stuff we can do. In fact, we had a client come in a few months ago. She had a terrible job waitressing and making minimum wage and just tips. Hard time making ends meet for her and her child. She was at her wit's end. The father was not paying child support, not because he couldn't, because he does have a job, but because he wouldn't. And so we brought him into court in front of the judge, and the judge said, wait, you are court ordered to pay. And he didn't realize that these agreements, once they become court order, that while you can't be put in jail for having a debt, you can be put in jail for ignoring a court order. And these agreements are court orders. So the judge said, you ignore my order, you must pay close to $1,000 to leave here today, or report to the jail on Friday. And you report to the jail on Friday, and before we leave here today, we're also getting a payment plan. We're getting this money income deducted out of your paycheck, and you're going to make those child support payments because it's not your right to have this child. It's your duty, and it's your privilege to have this child. So the woman was elated. We felt really great in our office, to have this win for our client. And, we want to let people know that these things are court orders and that, you got to obey a court order. The court looks on these cases, as we're going to fight for the children. And so we want people to know that we fight for the children, the court fights for the children. Come to us with your issues. We're tough. We can handle these things in court for you.
And step up. If you're not going to step up but be a parent and be there for the kid, step up and help at least the mother or the father, because this works in both instances. I was a single father with my oldest, but take care of your responsibilities. And if you're not, then they should be made accountable and have to pay. What happens though if the other parent who's not paying child support, if they find themselves in a position where they don't have a regular job or they're kind of job to job?
Right. Well, it makes it harder, but we can keep track of them. We can find out where they're working, when they're working. We can get a court order in place so that when they start working again, it automatically becomes income deducted from their paycheck. We can find out when they're working and, have a sheriff go out and pick them up and bring them into the court. It's not really a career enhancing, motive to, it's a good motive to not, avoid the order, right? So, they don't want these sheriffs coming to their jobs, and it happens quite often that the sheriff will have to go pick someone up and bring them in and say, you have to pay this child support. And so, we want people to know that's their responsibility, but that the court's there to help them get their child support if they need to.
And I think the important thing that you guys talk about is just if you find yourself in a situation, I know you've been on to talk about bankruptcies or homes that are underwater or even now with child support, it's coming in and just letting you guys know what their situation is and getting that free consultation to say, here's my situation, what do you guys think? And then you will give them, I'm sure, a assessment of what your options are.
Exactly, and don't wait till you're desperate. Come in, when you're first getting a divorce, come in, get that parenting plan in place, get the child support order in place, even if you don't need it, because a lot of times what baffles us the most is people come in and say, I don't really need to get money from them, or I don't want to alienate, the father or the mother from their child. But even if you don't need it, that's not your money, that's your child's money. Put it in a college fund for them, put it away in an investment account for them, something for their future that, they may need it in the future, so.
Yeah.
So what are the steps? If a parent went in and they said, look, this isn't working out, I've been asking for it for a year, they're not doing anything, would you first try to get the other parent in, have a consultation I mean, obviously we decide, we want to work with you and this is what we're going to do. Do you get them in and try to communicate and work it out before it gets to those legal steps?
Or do you communicate for them?
We typically file a motion, and if there's already a child support order in place, we'll file a motion for contempt of that order. That usually gets their attention. If they don't go to that hearing on the motion for contempt, the judge can have them hauled in by the sheriff. they go to the motion for the contempt, if they don't do what the judge tells them to as far as pay your back child support, make a payment plan, then they can go to jail until they can purge out and pay those things. So we do it through the courts.
And so what ends up happening then if if it goes through the courts, do they take a percentage out of their paychecks, and that way it's secured, the mother or the father, whoever the single parent is,
Right.
now it comes in no matter what, right?
There's a formula in Florida, and we just go strictly by the formula guidelines. And you know, it could be very little depending on if your parents make equal money, or it could be a great disparity if one makes, you know, $1 million a year and one makes nothing, you know. So it just depends on the incomes. So we just go by the formula, and the courts go by the formula, and that's what it is. So.
Yeah.
Good. Well, if they're making $1 million a year, they better be accountable.
Well, you'd be surprised.
Well, it's all about your responsibility, you know, to your
Exactly.
children.
Exactly. Well,
Exactly.
Thank you
and
so
we
much.
represent women and men alike in these situations. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it does work the other way
It does.
around.
Yeah,
I
we
know
were talking about that
firsthand.
because you were a single dad for a
I
while.
was a single
so.
dad.
Yeah,
Yep,
it does.
exactly. Well, thank you so much.
You're
We
welcome.
also want
Thank
to thank
you.
the ladies of the law, Andrea Kast, for all the advice, and Emery, Kast, and Walker for sponsoring today's segment.
And remember, they said the biggest mistake you can make when you're facing any sort of financial hardship is to do nothing. The legal team of Emery, Kast, and Walker, they say they understand exactly what you're going through, and they are here to help. Got that out wrong. I don't know why.
How's your hair today? Get your hair in.
Here to help. Visit their website at www.jackslawyer.com, or you can call them at 904-404-3394 for that free consultation.
Was that free?
Free consultation to, yes. He likes that word.
I love free.
He does. He does.